We're in the year of 2024, and the 3DFX Voodoo 5 5500 now cost more money than they were new. The Voodoo 5 was released in June 2000, and if you want to buy it now in the year 2024, you will need to spend over $500 for a used 24-year-old 3DFX Voodoo 5. I have two Pentium 3 computers I built myself 24 years ago when I was maybe 19 years old, and I saved money back then to buy a Pentium 3 733 MHz. It has a 128 megabytes of RAM and a 3DFX Voodoo 5 5500. Since that desktop was upgraded, I upgraded that desktop to a GeForce 3 TI200 somewhere in the year 2002 or 2003, and the Voodoo 5 was moved to another desktop I had in 2001. It's another Pentium 3. Now, because of what I see of the value of the 3DFX Voodoo 5 now, I decided to take out these two desktops and see if they still work after more than 14 years I didn't power them on. First, I want to see if the Voodoo 5 is still works, so I started with the other Pentium 3 I have, 600 MHz, 256 megabytes of RAM, and the Voodoo 5 is still inside of it. On the first power on, the computer beeps and not booting. I found that the power connection to the Voodoo 5 is not connected. I connected the power and it turned on the screen, but it gets stuck in the BIOS post screen. I tried to clear the BIOS settings by taking out the CMOS battery. It doesn't help. I tried to take out the memory and reinstall it. That doesn't help. So I remove all the expansion cards, the sound cards, the LAN network card, and finally it passes the BIOS post, but Windows 98 is getting stuck in the loading screen. I tried a few times without making a video and to see what the problem is, but eventually I decided to try to boot from a Windows XP CD I have here to see if this computer can load any operating system. However, even with the Windows XP setup, it gets stuck forever in the loading screen of Debugger DLL. I searched Google for this and it indicates that maybe the motherboard is faulty. So I decided to just remove the Voodoo 5 from this computer and test it on the original machine it was purchased with. My first Pentium 3, the 733 MHz Pentium 3. Before I install the Voodoo 5 on the other Pentium 3, I need to make sure it is working as it is right now with the GeForce 3 TI200. And yes, this computer is working. Windows 2000 is booting up just as the last time I booted this computer somewhere in 2010. I even have all the games and 3D Mark 2001 still installed on this computer. So before I check the Voodoo 5 on it, I will run benchmarks on the GeForce 3 TI200 and we can compare the results later when I test the Voodoo 5 5500. First is 3D Mark 2001. The GeForce 3 was famous to have hardware support of Transform and Lightning, which 3D Mark 2001 tested and in its benchmark. That's why in the loading screen you can see that it says pure HW, which means pure hardware support for Transform and Lightning. Later when I run 3D Mark 2001 on the Voodoo 5, you will see 3D Mark 2001 says that it does not support hardware Transform and Lightning, which means it can't run all of its benchmarks, and The Voodoo 5 will be much slower than the GeForce 3, and FreeD Mark score is 3996 FreeD Marks. Let's also benchmark Quake 3 Arena, the famous OpenGL game from 1999. Quake 3 Arena on the GeForce 3 reaches 68 frames per second. Now let's remove the GeForce 3 Ti 200 and replace it with the 3DFX Voodoo 5 5500 AGP video card. Yes, it works. Windows 2000 is starting. And now let's install the 3DFX video drivers and test the same games on the Voodoo 5. Quake 3 test first. Doing the time demo command and running the demo to get the results of 41 frames per second. But I saw a lot of shuttering and I think the game ran out of memory. 128 memory isn't enough for Windows 2000 and Quake 3. I will do a second benchmark, and now that the memory is of Quake 3 is still in the memory, I think it will run faster. And yes, the second benchmark run of Quake 3 results in 52 frames per second, a 10 FPS increase. Ideally, you should have at least 256 RAM on a Pentium 3 with Windows 2000 and Quake 3 Arena. The 52 frames per second result is 15 FPS lower than the 68 frames per second the GeForce 3 Ti 200 has. Let's also benchmark Quake 2. Quake 2 gets 60 frames per second, might be because of the VSync, but I don't remember if VSync is turned on or off in Quake 2. Let's benchmark 3D Mark 2001 now. It will surely run slower than the GeForce 3 and some benchmarks will be skipped because the Voodoo 5 can't run them at all, no transform and lightning. and it got 1398 3D Max, which is much lower than the 3996 3D Max the GeForce 3 had on the same machine. And that's why the Voodoo 5 failed. It was already too slow when it was released to compete against the GeForce 2 at the same year. Voodoo 5 was released in a time when the GeForce 2 came out, and GeForce 2 also had Transform and Lightning, which the Voodoo 5 didn't have. The GeForce 3 was quickly released a year later to finally give gamers at the time a worthy video card. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.